What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I think congratulations are in order for Patrick Mahomes here, who just valiantly fought through such a tough injury. And I've never seen it actually. You guys might be able to correct me. Like I feel like if we were to clock that last run he did, he probably beat his rookie year. I've never seen this man run so fast. I'm not sure if they're doing it on purpose, but we got it. Chiefs won. And if you saw my video, there's not much to go. There's a lot to go into. There's some interesting things I found. The Chiefs spread. I don't know if I went over this before. I noticed this would have made them 8-11-1. 8-11 is 118 backwards, which is clone. And then DeMar was at the game, and he's the one who tweeted out clone. That was the only reason I even looked into that. I don't use gematria much. What I use is wrestling logic, and the tribal chief did win. And if you don't think wrestling's connected with this, did you not see Kelsey's post-game interview? Very much wants to be a wrestler, it seems. But yeah, Pat just no-sells these injuries. So, again, I understand if he's got adrenaline, but he should be limping. Like that last run he did, he should have been limping through that run, instead of like sprinting and then afterwards like he limps back to the huddle. I'll take it all day though. Pat again, and just another. I didn't use a lot of gematria here, but I did notice now he's 2 for 3 in the Super Bowl, .666. They both did start off. Hurts and Mahomes 5 for 7. I noticed that as well, and announcers did go ahead and say the Chiefs flipped the script at halftime. So these were all said. These were things that were, again, just kind of in our face. And why would they do that? Why would they no-sell Pat's injury? Why would they have the officials make 2 ridiculous calls, one which led to a fumble that was a return for a touchdown, because instead of doing a quarterback sneak, the Eagles had to run some kind of screen because a 3rd and inches became 3rd and 5. And the second one was when they called the defensive holding. That's a great one to call because it's an automatic first down, which gave the Chiefs the final, kick. So, again, we will take it all day. But the reason I decided, okay, they're going to just go with the script either way is, again, they don't care about us. They don't, they're not going to look at us and say, oh, more people are calling the league rigged. Let's change it. They didn't do it with the Kings and Lakers, and they're not going to do it now. Now, what's interesting, what I found very, very interesting, if you guys remember, there was a leaked score. And I immediately said that's bullshit. Like, there's no way this leaked score can be right. Well, they got the wrong winner, but they're pretty. The leaked score was 37-34 Philly. That was from. I'm sure you guys saw that and also thought it was bullshit. But that's pretty interesting how the leaked score was that close to these two teams. At the end of the day, like I said, I know it sounds goofy. The tribal chief just won. And he had, I'm talking about the other tribal chief, the wrestling one, and he has 2 belts. And the guy that is his manager, literally built ECW in Philly, and he's a defector, hands him those belts every week. He's been doing that for the last few months. So wrestling tells some stories. Now, what's another thing I noticed? We have to start giving the, whatever you want to call it, let's call it the color revolution. I know we already had one. The football color revolution, okay? I'll catchphrase the term. But my point is, we have to give, well, actually, it's more than football, so it's the sports color revolution. We have to give that theory some credence. And I'm not talking about the fact that Hurts and Mahomes made history. I'm talking about the fact that the last 6 results have now been, maybe even more, have been now basically the jerseys of the teams. So we had all the blue and gold, purple and gold teams win. Purple and those colors, Astros, Warriors, they all won. And then we had a blue and gold or a green, whatever the hell their colors are. I think they're purple, black, and gold. TCU, the same purple colors, got pummeled by Georgia, red, white, and black. And now we got the Chiefs who wear red, white. Sometimes they wear some black. So I'm noticing the red, white this year is winning. So it really makes me like those the Sixers, my Sixers pick even more. But I just feel like that has to stand to reason now, because now we've had a whole season where all the same colors won, and we've had 2, the football result now and the NFL football result, where the color of the jerseys has indicated who's going to win. So the fact that it keeps happening, I'm going to stick with this. So honestly, it sounds goofy, but if the NBA Finals comes down to just a team wearing red versus a team not wearing, like a team wearing blue or something, or colors that are different than the teams that have been winning, I'm probably just going to go with the colors because it's been a ridiculous tiebreaker. I can't remember the last time it missed, to be honest. I'm not saying they do it every single year, but they have ran it with every sport last year, and I think including the World Cup even, and then again this year. And of course, last year, I think people were saying how it matched up to Ukraine. So I'm not sure, again, what it matches up to, but it does seem to have some credence. I think they said Hurts finished with 304, so you see that they love to get their 3s and 4s in there. And Hurts, what made me more positive as this game was going on that Pat was going to win was just, look, people are going to hate Pat Mahomes. Now he is a complete heel. So, Brady became a heel, even though they tried to make him a good guy. They realized when you force somebody down people's throats and things like his run when he's supposedly injured happen, people tend to stop unless you're a Chiefs fan, people tend to stop being a fan of yours. And what people probably noticed was Hurts here ran for 3 touchdowns, broke a record. He ran for 70 yards. He ran 15 times. He made a bunch of nice throws. So I think a lot of people are going to look at this and look at, oh, man, Mahomes didn't have to do anything, Basically, just Pat had it easy like Brady always had it easy. And it's a great way to push the Pat as now everyone's going to want Pat to lose next year. So, they do it in basketball. They've been doing it with Seth, obviously. I'd say Steph is kind of a heel at this point. And they do it with different players. And then they'll have guys like Luka who took on the entire Warriors, and they kind of pinned it like Luka was taking on everyone. They do these kind of things so they can set up redemption storylines. Dirk against the Heat. So they'll do it. And again, I think the biggest reason that the Chiefs made sense to me, outside of the gematria, outside of the wrestling logic, outside of the colors and all that stuff, is the 666 was interesting. But the fact that I did think Mahomes was not starting off with a 33% win rate in the Super Bowl. This is their next phase. They're not just going to start him off that way. And it just made sense that now I expect Pat McAfee to talk about, I don't think he's going to go as hard on the officiating as people think. Maybe he will, but it was like one bad call at which is terrible, but they purposely kind of let them play in a lot of regards. So I think he's going to go after them. How do you, not blow the whistle and then you do that, even if it is a hold, which, by the way, if you watch that play back, he grabs him, he holds him for sure. And it's not even a hold, it's more like pantomiming, where he essentially just grabs his jersey and tugs at it, almost to let the receiver know, to whatever he has to pantomime. So he did his tug, and then no less than 3 or 4 seconds later, the flag was thrown. It was from the back judge all the way in the end zone, and he called a hold. So, again, these things, those are the things that, to me, they tipped me off. That call would have been immediately made, when he grabbed him. Instead, they waited to make sure nothing happened, and then, of course, it was an arid throw, a safe throw out of bounds, so they could throw the flag. But, again, I think they want people talking about it enough, but they don't want it looking like it's on the league. So the officials are going to get blamed. And this is a great time for me to bring this up with officials, because it goes so much deeper than the officials. But I can say, from the officiating aspect, there's a lot of things that I'm going to be going into beginning of next month, actually, regarding officials and just how the procedures work, at least in some sports. But in this game, again, I think the officials will get more blame than anybody else. But I think anybody that thought the NFL was rigged going into this is going to be paying way more attention to Mahomes no-selling the injury than that flag at the end. Maybe they won't, but I just don't think, even when the announcers are just laughing, saying, I don't see an injury there. It's you can get away with that in wrestling because we know that these guys aren't really hurting each other, even though they actually do get injured more than these athletes do. But when they're laughing about a real injury that had this man supposedly in excruciating pain going into halftime. So you have to imagine he didn't have an injury. He aggravated a moderate high ankle sprain. and we're to believe he's going to be running with no limp later that game, it just wouldn't happen. And so hopefully people will start seeing, that this is not a coincidence. And, again, we're not going to get everyone right, but we did nail this one. My actual score prediction was 34-24. I didn't think they'd run it to the wire. I didn't, but again, I also said that's why I had the Chiefs winning. I at this point, there's not much I put past the league as far as throwing things in our face. From what I can hear, I didn't see much of the game, to be honest. I saw a couple big drives, and I saw the end where Mahomes made the ridiculous run, and they called the penalty. But as far as the halftime show, I heard there's a lot of symbolism there. So I'll be going into all that stuff, and I'll be going into a lot of symbolism. I just always like to get my first reactions out there. Obviously, I like to cover our nights, and we had one play today, leg 3, hit for us, so I'll take it. We got, not really plus odds. We got like plus 107, I think, because that's what I got at least. It was only 1.5 points, but a good leg 3 to close, and wasn't going to play it as a leg 3, but decided I think they're going to stick with the Chiefs. I'm not going to let any kind of reverse psychology, which is what I thought they were doing. I thought they were doing some reverse psychology, and that's the reason I waited. But yeah, once they didn't move the line, I was pretty sure it seemed like they're going ahead and just finish with this Pat dynasty. And I think they're going to welcome any kind of talk. They don't care about the scrutiny. They say any publicity is good. I don't think that's necessarily true. Look at DeMar. But I do think that as far as this, they know that they can explain it away, and most people will just forget about it until next year, move on and watch basketball, thinking that's real. But yeah, like I said, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people, maybe I could be wrong, that don't never see my other videos. We don't just go into this, the obvious stuff and why it's rigged. We go into the Vegas aspect as well, and that's why, since we started, we've been killing it, because not with every game, but with most of them, especially a Super Bowl game, after they've planted these seeds, the State Farm commercials, they were in State Farm, all that stuff adds up. But more importantly, again, is where the money is going. And right now, Pat is the money, he's the face, and that's why they won. So I'll have another video, like I said. I'm sure there's a ton of things I missed, as I haven't really looked into many of the numbers. But again, I'm sure they put a lot of things in our face, and it'll be interesting to see what their narratives are moving forward. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.